Let's explore autistic history and the Autism Wars. We are now in part 108 of a series. All right, let's pick back up where I left off in the article, The Second Great Autism Watershed. This was written by Bernard Rimland via Autism Research Institute, probably published in their newsletter back in 1994. I shared the earlier part of this article in the video before this one, and I'm picking back up here in the intensive early intervention section, or under that subhead. All right, it says here, intensive early intervention. Nowhere is a new activist stand more evident than in the explosion of intensive early intervention programs. The early issues of ARRI chronicle the beginnings of this movement. ARRI reported the first published results of the UCLA 15-year follow-up study of autistic children given intensive 40-hour per week behavior modification. 47% of intensely taught children were successfully mainstreamed, compared to only 1 of 40 students in the matched control groups of children who received less intensive behavior modification. The study provoked controversy, CARRI 13, but that did not deter parents of young autistic children from trying intensive behavior modification. And it says, see also ARRI 7 So I'm hopefully going to be able to find those. We'll see. All right, so moving on. In other articles, ARRI 11 and 62, we reported the results of the Princeton Child Development Study, which also showed extraordinarily good results for autistic children given intensive early intervention. So he is full on making a push for ABA to be in our lives as our quest for normalcy. All right. There were no guarantees, but there was opportunity. Oh gosh. We have so many issues with ABA industry, and just the fact that it exists is one thing, but that it does exist and it's so unregulated, it makes sense hearing how ABA started. All right, listen to this next section. Rimland states, there were no guarantees, but there was opportunity. Here was evidence that young autistic children could be helped. Don't wait, act! Exclamation point. Parents started their own home-based programs using the Love Is Me book and using whatever local resources they could muster from contacts within the psychology departments at local colleges. More recently, the early intervention movement. Oh Lord, it was a movement. All right. Whew. Was given major impetus by the publication of Catherine Morris's superb book, Let Me Hear Your Voice. 2 of the 3 Morris children had been diagnosed as severely autistic by the best-known clinics in New York City. Their mother's book provides a beautifully written, day-by-day, detailed account of her struggles and the eventual recovery of both children, primarily through the medium of intensive early behavior modification. The text and appendices have provided both inspiration and information to innumerable families with young autistic children worldwide. This book is mentioned so many times and places in autistic history. I need to find a copy. Whoa. All right, Rimland goes on to state, and it's working. I have heard from scores of parents that they have instituted similar early intervention programs by hook or by crook, home-based or school-based, almost always with excitingly positive results. Good news indeed. Right, this next section is titled Biological Interventions. Rimland states here, parent activism has also accelerated dramatically on the biological front, as readers of ARRI know. I have repeatedly called attention to the excellent results which are often seen by parents who try high dosage vitamin B6 and magnesium and or dimethylglycine, DMG, I don't know what that is, on their autistic children and adults. These are natural substances found in small amounts of food, do not require a prescription, and are immeasurably safer and more rational than any drug. In the case of B6 magnesium, there are now 18 consecutive published studies showing benefit to autistic persons and none showing harm. Well, look at this. No wonder we have such issues with homegrown therapies for autistics. The harm that comes from this is immeasurable, and it's still problematic today and harming autistic children in horrible ways you can't even fathom if you've never heard of it. It is astounding to see it so openly pushed here. Every treatment, every therapy for autistics here in the early days was for parents to do at home with their kids. Who cared about the research? Bernard Rimland thought it was fabulous because, you know, he talked to some folks. Okay, I'm gonna take a break. It's this kind of direction from the old father of modern autism research at that time that gives us things like miracle mineral solution, stripping out the insides of autistic children. Yeah, if you need to see the horror that's happening today from these ideas that were generated back then, you can just look up miracle mineral solution, look up Emma Delmain, Melissa Eaton, and Aviva's, gosh, I can't remember Aviva's last name, sorry. But, and the Grennans, the Bleach Cult, Genesis 2 Church, and Jim Humble and the Grennans, who just got prison sentences for selling this stuff. But this all goes all the way back in history, and now I can see why parents are so confident back in these eras and trying such astonishing things with their children to make them less autistic in their quest to make them normal. It's okay, another break. All right, he says, recently there has been enormous upsurge in the number of parents reporting that they have tried B6 magnesium and or DMG, often with good or even spectacular results. Adverse effects are very uncommon, never serious, and always short-lived. So, all right, go ahead and experiment on your kids, folks. Good grief. Whoa. All right, lately, in addition to parents trying B6, magnesium, and DMG, I have been hearing about trials of other natural substances, again, with considerable benefit, in many cases, and no significant ill effects. The list of parent-initiated experiments with nutritional supplements includes trials of vitamin C, folic acid, carnitine, coenzyme Q10, taurine, and melatonin, among others. Melatonin is a hormone rather than a nutrient, but it can be bought without prescription from health food stores, and some parents report good results, especially in children with sleep problems when giving only 1 to 3 milligram tablets of melatonin per day. Now that is actually something that does help. So it's, what a mixed bag, right? What, oh my gosh. So what is the proper dosage range for these substances? Rimland states, I don't know, but I'm trying to find out. All right, yeah. Okay, so we're going to leave off here and come back to this article in the next video. Thank you so much for exploring more autistic history with me in the Autism Wars.